can you use tests to drive the creation and implementation of your components? Our next speaker will discuss how behavior-driven development can improve the resiliency of your components and increase confidence in your design system. Currently a UX engineer at MailChimp, he is the co-author of the Design Engineering Handbook. When he's not building software, you can probably find him reading up on Stoicism or living his best life. In this session, he will discuss building resilient components with BDD. Let's all give a warm welcome to Adekunle Oduye.
Located in Brooklyn, New York, and today I'll be talking about building resilient components with BDD. So before I start, I'm going to talk more about my UI testing journey. As before I stated, I am a designer, and when I got into more development work, people were talking about how UI testing is the best thing and blah blah blah, and I was like, nah, I'm not a big fan of tests. Whole reason I went to art school was to avoid tests, so that was the whole thing. But as I started to do more and more design system work, I started to see the importance of testing. And I kind of want to talk about my aha moment around UI testing. So I was in a scenario where I was taking a break from design system and working with the product team to kind of get their features done. The scenario was that we had about a month and a half to kind of get a bunch of features done. And I was presented with my first feature, and I had a question for myself where it was like, should I write tests or should I not write tests? And I decided not to, and I kind of later regret that. And sort of down the line of actually building out the features, there was like so many bugs. I felt like an exterminator because I was squashing bugs left and right. But after that, I started to realize that testing had some sort of importance, especially around product feature work, but specifically for design systems. So I want to kind of talk about my workflow. So it will look something like this, where I'll write some code. I'll check in the browser to see if it works or if anything breaks. I repeat it until it's done. Then I'll write some tests, and usually not good tests, and then I'll merge it into repo. Again, this is kind of like the typical process for anyone, but I started to kind of analyze this even further, and I saw some particular pain points. So let's talk about the pain points. The first thing was that it was very repetitive. Again, I was switching from my VS Code editor to my browser every couple of minutes, and again, it was not very effective. Second, it was very manual. Anytime I had to kind of check if something was working, I'll have to kind of click onto the browser to see if it works. Again, not very efficient or effective. And second and third, it's that it's very reactive. So I wasn't really planning on what things I could actually work on. I was kind of just like based on the design and kind of see what works and what doesn't work. Again, this is probably not the best way to do stuff. So now that I talked about the pain points and like the why, I want to kind of talk more about the fundamentals. So I'll be talking about both TDD and BDD. Again, I'm going to go through this and kind of talk about the definitions and examples. So what is TDD? TDD stands for test-driven development, and it's a programming style where tests are written before you write any code. To kind of look more at like this approach, usually it goes like this. First, you write a test and it fails. Then you write enough code to pass that test. And then finally, you will actually refactor that code. And this is kind of the same cycle you go over and over again. So there are a bunch of benefits of test-driven development, but here's a couple of them. The first is that it kind of reduces the amount of bugs you get. Again, the example I was talking about before, where I was like, I didn't write any tests, there was a bunch of edge cases that I didn't think of. So usually when you write the test prior to writing code, you're more likely to kind of think more about whether the edge case, what is the happy path, and so on. Second, we're going to focus more on the code quality. So the idea is that what you can kind of do is that you can kind of, every time you write a piece of code, you refactor. By doing that, you're more likely to have more quality code rather than just writing all your code at once and trying to refactor from there. And then I think this is the most important one, where you get a constant feedback loop. You can have your tests running in the background, and anytime you write some code, it's going to rerun. So you're definitely going to see if whatever you're writing is either going to pass or fail a test. So let's walk through a quick example. So let's say I'm going to create this function, and basically I'm going to input a number, and it's going to give me the square root. So in this example, we give it a 3, and it's going to spit out a 9. So if we want to kind of use a more test-driven approach, what's going to happen is that we'll first write a test. And here I'm importing the actual square root function, and then I have the describe block. A describe block is a way for you to organize your tests that are related. And if you want to check out the source code, I have a link there to the bit.ly link, so definitely check it out. So we're going to just write a test for this specific case. And for this one, I want to kind of walk through the code. So what we're basically saying is that we have a square root of 3. I'm attaching that to a variable. And I want to attach the results of 9 to another variable. And what's going to happen is that I'm going to expect that the actual square root of 3 is going to equal to what is expected, which is 9. So we're going to run this test. The test is going to fail. This is a good thing because it's saying that there's no function called square root. So now we can actually write our code. So it looks something like this, where we just basically times in the number by itself, and then we get a passing test. Cool. We could do a little bit of refactoring for this case. So if you go back into the code, JavaScript has a built-in exponential operator. So if we do something like this, this will kind of do the same thing. One of the things people always ask is like, how many tests are good enough? For me, I kind of follow this idea of like, you write a test until uncertainty becomes confidence. Again, if you're not very confident about a feature or whatnot, you should write more tests. So now that we talked about TDD, let's get into BDD. So what is BDD? So it's basically a behavior-driven development, and it's an extension of TDD. And the idea is that you write tests from the perspective of the user. And there's multiple ways to kind of write behavior-driven development test cases or whatnot. But one thing you want to kind of use is the gherkin. So gherkin is basically a domain-specific language that basically takes the business behavior without the need for implementation, which I think is the key, because a lot of this is driven by natural language. Cool. So let's explain gherkin with cookies. So given that I have a cookie jar, so I have 10 cookies in here. If I take out 3 cookies, oh, I just broke one, So I take out 3 cookies. I might eat them. I might give it to my dog. I don't have a dog, but yeah. So I want to make an assertion that there are 7 cookies in here. I'm not really worried about like how I'm implementing or whatnot, but from the user perspective, there should be 7 cookies in here. So that's kind of how I usually explain gherkin to someone that doesn't know it. So now let's talk about the benefits of BDD. The first benefit is it improves collaboration with non-technical colleagues. The reason being is that a lot of this is driven by natural language. So a designer, engineer, QA, product manager can all participate in this process. Next, it focuses on behavior than implementation. So the idea is that you focus on what the users are actually going to do, and you're not really worried about like how you're going to structure your code or whatnot. That comes secondary. And the final benefit is we have a faster feedback loop. Similar to TDD, BDD has the same approach where you run tests in the background. So now that we are looking at this from more of the micro level, let's look at it from a macro level. So if you look at how testing is done in general, usually you have three types of tests. You have unit tests, integration tests, and end-to-end tests. As you go from top to bottom, the tests get cheaper and much faster. If you go from bottom up, the tests are more valuable, but they're more expensive. And specifically with design systems, we're usually focusing on unit tests or integration tests. So now that we talked about testing from the macro level, let's talk about the actual tools that's going to help us do some BDD within our design systems. There are three major tools, and most of them are very popular. The first one is Jest. Jest is a JavaScript testing framework made by Facebook, and it's probably the industry standard right now. Second, we have a framework called Testing Library. Testing Library allows you to kind of render the DOM without actually opening the page. Last but not least, we have Storybook. Storybook is basically a platform where you're able to work on your UI components in isolation. So these are the three tools you'll need to kind of have a BDD approach when building a design system. So let's get into an example. Let's say we're going to build a to-do component, and it's going to look something like this. So we'll have a title, we have an input, we got a button, and a couple of checkboxes that's basically listing out our task. And let's say we're working with a designer, and the designer said, hey, this is the workflow of it. So if you think about it, we have a default where it's like no tasks available. And then we have three key workflows. One of them is adding a task. The second one is completing a task. And the third is removing a task. So based on this workflow, we actually can create our Gherkin statement right now. So it looks something like this. So we have setting up the actual scenario, which is I'm going to create a to-do list. And for each of them, I'm having specific cases where I could add a task, remove a task, or complete a task. And from here, we actually can start creating our test right now. So if we go into our todo.test.js file, we have a describe block, which basically is going to be a container for all our tests. What I usually like to do is add a test for a rendering test. So basically, if the component doesn't render, then all the other tests are going to fail. And then from there, we're going to have a bunch of other describe blocks. Again, you don't have to do this, but I do it so that things are more organized. And then for each of them, we're going to have specific test cases for that. The one thing I want to kind of point out is that for the test, it's attached to a keyword called to-do. This allows you to kind of create a to-do list for your actual tests. So if you run your tests, it's going to look something like this. Cool. So let's actually look at the rest of the files we're going to actually create. So here we have our todo.js, and this is our functional component, and this is what we're going to have for right now. Next one is we're going to have create our stories for the actual to-do component. So the one thing I want to highlight in this file is line number 11. So I'm exporting a default story, and this is what we're going to use for our tests. So next, let's jump back into our test file, and there's a couple things we want to import. So we're going to import render, which allows us to render the actual component. Screen will basically allow us to get specific elements within that DOM. And then we're also going to import that default component from our stories. And if we write our first test, this is how it's going to look. I'm going to step through each of them. So line 3, we are first going to render the action component. After that, we're going to get a element with a label called to do. And finally, we're going to make an assertion saying that the element should be in the document. If we run this, we get a failing test. And what is failing is that they can't find any element that has a text called to do. So let's fix that. So we go back into our to-do file, add some code, run our test again, and it passed. Again, we're going to need to do some refactoring just so that we're writing some semantic code. So if I go back into our JavaScript file for the to-do component, and let's say I add a couple of elements in there, and that's pretty much it. If we check this component in Storybook, it'll look like this. Again, not much is going on, but the idea is that we're going to build the UI little by little until we kind of complete the whole thing. Cool. So let's jump into our next test. And the next test is basically saying we want to add a task, and from the user perspective, that task should appear in the task list. So the test is going to look something like this. Again, I'm going to walk through all the actual code itself. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to render the component. Next, we're going to actually get an element by the placeholder text, which is the input. After that, we're going to grab the add button. From there, we're going to simulate a couple of events. The first event is that we're actually going to type eCookies into the actual input field. And then from there, we're going to click on the add button. And the final code should look something like this, where we expect a checkbox that has a label called eCookies. And then we're going to make an assertion saying that this element should be in the document. Again, we're going to have a failing test. I'm not going to walk through all the code to implement this, but let's say we write some code. This is what we should get. So we have the to-do, we have the input, we clicked add, we actually got the eCookies task added to the task list. If we checked our test, everything passed. If you want to learn more, kind of dive deeper into the code, definitely check out this repo. I have a bit.ly link at the bottom. And yeah, I know I was talking a lot, but I have a couple of takeaways. So the first takeaway is you want to write tests now or track bugs later. In the example I was talking about before, where I was working on a product team, when I decided not to write tests, I was chasing a lot of bugs. And again, you want to be more proactive when you're building components. Second is BDD is just one of the tools in the tool set. Again, it's very good for components that have a lot of state, are super complex, and has a lot of interactions. But if you're building a component that's more presentation level, then it's probably not the best tool. And finally, BDD improves cross-functional collaboration. Since a lot of it is driven by natural language, anywhere from a designer, QA, product manager could all contribute in this process. So, if you want to check out the source code, there's a link to the GitHub repo. And yeah, thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you so much. Welcome, Adekunle.
Glad to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How have you been?
Pretty good.
Are you living your best life? You do?
Every day.
Every day, all day, every day? Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for that talk. I love, that was really great, straightforward, very easy to understand talk. Testing has always been my kind of it's been the skill that I can definitely use some more help with. So thinking about like when you talk about test-driven development and how that framework can be applied to doing other things, like yeah, I part of me is like, yeah, I totally get that, but it also was like a little bit of reminders, like I probably should, I could do a little bit more of that. I could be a little bit more mindful about these things as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Like when I was getting into it, like early on, people was like, "You're not a real engineer unless you like testing," and I was like, "Nah, I'm cool," because it's like I didn't really get it, and I think it kind of hit with me when I was like working on one project, and it was like, "Oh, test driven is like not a kind of like a fad. It's actually pretty useful." So hopefully, this talk is helpful for anyone that wants to get a good understanding of like what testing is and how they can implement it into their work.
And just you kind of reminded me of something, but can we just like once and for all kill any and every version of "you're not a real blank if you don't blank"? Like, can we just not ever utter those phrases again? Because you are a developer if you code. I don't really know why we gotta like put gatekeep things, but that's a whole nother. I'm going off on a tangent. Let me
Yeah.
rein myself in. I'm sorry.
Woosah.
I got myself all worked up. Oh, my bad. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that was not at all where I needed to take that conversation. Let me go ahead and get back on track here with some questions. Sorry. Okay. So I have one question. The first question I have here is from Amber, and Amber wants to know, how do you see ally testing tying in with BDD?
With BDD, it could work with accessibility. You could definitely use like Apple tools or anything else with. That's that thing about BDD is like you could reuse it with any different tool framework.
Okay. Very cool. I think you may have cut off for the first part of that. So can you repeat like the first part of your talk if you can remember that? Or your first part of your answer, I should say. Sorry.
Yes, I think I said like BDD could kind of work well with accessibility testing. It could go like in parallel, but it's not mutually exclusive. So I think that's the good thing about BDD overall.
Okay, cool. Okay, so next question is from Rachel. Rachel wants to know, what's the biggest pitfall you've seen in design system team trying to implement either TDD or BDD?
Yeah, good question. I would say not being aligned with like the actual process, because you first want to know like why is it important, and I think oftentimes people have different ideas of like why test driven development is good and whatnot. So making sure you align to with like how we want to implement it and when to use it and when not to use it is super important. Because I would say that if you're doing prototyping work or prototyping a new component, you necessarily don't want to use BDD because you're not really sure of like the end goal.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So let's see where we got. Okay, so Phil wants to know, could you elaborate more on the difference between TDD and BDD? Also, just let me pause here for a second to say, every time I say BDD, I keep wanting to say BBD, like Bell Bib DeVoe. Am I dating myself with that? Is that just me? Anyways, yeah, so back to the question. Can you elaborate on the difference between TDD and BBD? Like, and do you have an example of how you might approach the same test with each sort of method?
Yeah, so I would say TDD is more of like specific to like a specific function. So let's say I'm building a calculator component, and the actual calculation is not really, it could kind of be removed from the actual component. So I could actually say like, all right, to calculate like 1 + 1 has to equal 2. So that's more of like test-driven development. But when you talk about behavior-driven development, that's more in the case of thinking about the component like holistic. So if I click on 1, 2, 3, and 4 and plus enter, like it should like equate to the sum. And that's more specific to the actual component itself, if that makes sense. So TD is more like smaller units, and then BDD could be used for kind of like components or user flows.
Okay. So I have a kind of a sort of a follow-up question to that. And how do you see, man, I just lost the question. So how do you see BBD kind of fitting into the larger like end-to-end, like more end-to-end like automated tests versus like more manual type testing? Because it seems like test-driven development tends to go more towards unit kind of units test. And I'm just curious to know if you have any thoughts on how we can incorporate this into more of the end-to-end type test.
Yeah, so the same approach could be used for end-to-end testing, because the example I kind of gave was more in a case of like, all right, this is for a component, but let's say we're working on like a user flow and whatnot, and the idea is that I could test it from one end to another. Again, you wouldn't use like a React testing library. You could use either Cypress or Puppeteer for that. So you can use the same approach, but it's just kind of using the different tools.
Okay. Oh, very cool. Okay, let's see. The next question here is from Jules. Jules wants to know, how can designers apply test-driven fundamentals in UX?
Oh, that's a great question. So I actually think designers already do it. Again, I used to do a lot of product design in the past, and the whole idea of like having happy paths and like unhappy paths, that's kind of similar to like test-driven development or behavior-driven development. So you kind of think of it in a case of like, what is like this user flow or component from start to finish? And you'd be like, all right, what are some of the edge cases? And I think for designers, like they kind of been doing that all along. So that's kind of how it clicked for me, because I wasn't really sure about like how BDD could work with like everything, but I just realized that like everyone's pretty much doing it already. So just keep on doing it.
Very cool. Let's see here. More questions here from Gilson. Gilson wants to know, how can design collaborate to create these tests?
Yeah, I think that's also another great question. So I'm a big believer that like designers and engineers should work more of like in parallel rather than like handoffs. So I suggest like if you're a designer or engineer, you could actually co-author like the actual BDD spec from the beginning and kind of work in tandem, because again, I think a lot of times you often duplicate work. So like work in more collaboration, and also like teach like designers or engineers, like teach the actual like methodology, because I think the more we can kind of speak the same language, the better the better things are going to go. So
Yeah, definitely. I love anything that encourages the collaboration, like I guess the across the aisles for collaboration with design and engineering, because as I mentioned, like I am a hybrid or unicorn or whatever you want to call it. And I just love being able to bring everyone in so we all have the same information, and we all can kind of learn from each other's disciplines as well. Okay, so the last question that we have here is from Mike, and Mike wants to know if you can give another example of something that you might test with BDD.
So I think anything functional. So let's say if I'm building a component like, I don't know, like a drop down or like that, and I need to do like multiple clicks, that's something that you want to like use BDD for, because the idea is that like, rather than manually testing it, you could just kind of use like, you could automate it so that like I could just like literally focus on like, if the code is functioning, if it doesn't function, then I'm gonna get some like error from my tests and whatnot. So I think it works well with like components, user flows and whatnot. So hopefully that's like a proper example, but if that's not, definitely feel free to hit me up afterwards.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. Like I said, it was a great talk. I definitely have a lot of things to think about and take back to my team. And I hope everyone else here has learned a lot of things as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Audrey for a break and some clarity.